Each year, as Christmas rolls around, I'm reminded once again of playing the part of the lowly shepherd in the Sunday school Christmas pageant for 4 straight years. The shepherds had the worst part in the whole production. One of the requirements of being a shepherd was that you had to provide your own costume, that is, a brown bathrobe, which unfortunately I had. All the other parts were provided with interesting costumes, the wise men in gold and purple robes, the angels in brilliant white, Mary in a soft blue, and Joseph in a stylish orange robe. We were told to wear shorts underneath our robes to be more authentic, which just meant that our legs were cold on an evening in December at the church. Our job was to stand off to the side behind our cardboard sheep, sitting on a cold tile floor until the angels would come to announce the birth of Jesus. Everyone in the pageant had better lines to speak than the shepherds. Mary and Joseph got to speak with the angels. The wise men gave ponderous speeches about following yonder star. Even the innkeeper got to speak to Mary and Joseph about not having a room in the inn, but then finding them a spot in the stable, which is pretty irritating, since the innkeeper isn't even mentioned at all in the first gospel. Everyone's part in the pageant was better than the shepherds. Each year, we were to wait for the angel to show up, and when she did, the spotlight was always on the angel, who tells us to not be afraid. I think maybe mistaking our shivering from the cold with fear, no doubt. And then the angel gave us the whole story of the Christ child being born in Bethlehem, and how we would find him all wrapped up in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger. This was followed by then more angels filling the stage singing, "Angels we have heard on high," which doesn't make any sense if you think about it. It should be the shepherds singing, because we're the ones who heard the angels. We just stood there shivering in our brown bathrobes, while the angels stood in the spotlight. Finally, when the angels had left, we were allowed our one and only line in the whole production. "Let's go," we said. That was it. We would then make our way to Bethlehem, where Mary and Joseph were center stage, sitting behind the manger, which contained a 40-watt light bulb hidden inside, bathing their faces with a holy glow. The angels were standing all over the place, beaming with angelic joy. The wise men came in, gave a big speech, bowed down, giving wonderful presents to the baby Jesus. The innkeeper even came in bringing food. Just before it was all over, we shepherds came in, walked up to the manger, looked inside, nodded, and walked behind the cardboard cows in the back. Never got to say a word, just looked in and faded into the background. That was it. 4 straight years of playing a trivial, insignificant, hardly noticeable, freeze-in-your-bathrobe shepherd. Anything would have been better than being a shepherd. You know something interesting? At the time of the first Christmas, that's exactly how the majority of people thought about being a shepherd. They were considered as trivial, insignificant, hardly noticeable human beings. Just about any other job was better than being a shepherd. Your average shepherd was low class in every sense of the word. After all, who would associate with someone who spends weeks at a time out in the fields hanging out with sheep? Yes, they had the worst job in society. But here's the surprising part of the Christmas story. The angel didn't bring the first news of the birth of the Savior to the king in his royal court, or to the rich and powerful, or to the high priest and religious leaders in the temple. No, it was to the shepherds, who were the ones to receive the good news from the angel. This glorious good news came to the lowly, insignificant, hardly noticeable guys out in the fields, watching over their flocks by night. It's quite a surprise when you think about it, for when the shepherds go where the angels had directed them, they did not bring any rich or elaborate presents to honor the newborn Savior. They brought what they had, themselves, coming in obedience to see the good news of their salvation. On that first Christmas, God sought out the lowly, the humble shepherds, to be the first recipients of the good news of the Savior's birth. Just as God came into the world as a humble child, born in a stable, and whose adult ministry was among the poor and lowly. It's fitting, then, that we remember the shepherds who watched and waited and wondered in their quiet fields on that first Christmas night.